Volitional efforts in overcoming of inner problems. Let me introduce to you the yogi with many years of practice, almost enlightened and real as can be. I would like to give him an opportunity to express his opinion in relation to the observation I made regarding yogis. While answering the previous question, which pertained to the fact that in practice of yoga there is a moment that I would designate as a strong-willed effort, the instant of volitional overcoming of obstacles related to manifestations of laziness. For instance, a person overcomes certain obstacles and ultimately liberate yourself from the chains of laziness. Let's hear the opinion of profoundly experienced yogi. I'm not kidding, because before he arrived on Ifar, about 4 years ago, I made him to dig a pit as a true yogi. But nevertheless, this pit did not frighten him. Recently, when I have been at the upper Ifar on the Aipetri mountain, he arrived at the primary Ifar location, but this time he certainly did not dig a pit, which surely he would have done if only I was down there. So the bottom line, he is here with us. Come on out, share your opinion as to what is real and what is not, please. Hello everyone, earlier we were talking about the necessity to pay attention to our two lower energy centers, or as they are called in Iissiidiology, chakram personalities. I talked a little with Oris regarding this and on this topic. Unfortunately, many yogis, while trying to overcome some of their inner issues by means of volitional factor, yes, within the framework of the traditional yoga practice, indeed, following the well-known so-called 8-step and other kinds of yoga, with certain activity of their lower energy centers, they come to the point when they simply are unable to cope and control these lower level energies, which sometimes results in fights with their teachers. Yes, that happens too, or verbal abuse. The same goes for the second chakra in Glimilisa. When a monk and a nun enter into sexual relationship, because they are unable to withstand the vow of abstinence any longer. Or sometimes they even form families together. Yes, there are families. Frankly, this is the best option when a person realizes that sitting behind closed doors in a lotus position at someone else's expense for years is not the best development solution. When he starts a family, he moves in a more positive direction, and this provides an incentive to move on in a direction that could be beneficial to someone else as well, and turn to esoteric teachers, meditations that are more complex, and practices elevating self-consciousness to higher levels. subjectively speaking. Thus, I, the extensive reader and the translator of information which is coming from Oris, can state with certainty that most of that esoterical knowledge is very vague and veiled, unclear and hard to understand. Even the well-known Tantra is greatly distorted from what was originally available, and therefore here it is, a great merit of Oris, that all the knowledge that he gives is presented in Russian language. I think it is fantastic that there is a person who can adequately relay such information in Russian. When such knowledge is conveyed in a foreign language, for instance, the Hindus only speak English, it becomes greatly distorted. Moreover, they cannot convey everything they wanted to express originally. However, if there is someone who in fact has the high-frequency knowledge available in Russian, even considering that it is conveyed from the subjective standpoint, using certain terminology, approach, angle, and interpretation, I believe that it's very valuable. Thank you. I just want to emphasize that the spiritual progress and the quest for spiritual development stagnation example are the multiple convents and monasteries where the people who came there in their youth and having devoted themselves to the service of God for a number of years, regardless the religion, nevertheless have experienced great frustration and began to engage in certain realization, in full awareness of their sinfulness, and that they are doing everything wrong, and couldn't escape this in any way, at levels of their lower manifestations of Arglamuni or Inglimilisa Iissiidiology center. There were also cases of murder in monasteries. In fact, it has already become a certain tradition of sexual realization occurring in convents and monasteries. Male and female homosexuality. I'm not even talking a widespread masturbation realization. Hence, the more you resist this, if it really concerns the deficiency of certain experience on your lower energy levels, the stronger it will one day overwhelm you. The characteristics of the lower levels are more or less approximated in the drafts of Arglamuni and Inglimilisa. However, it will be relayed more deeply and profoundly in the third part of Iissiidiology fundamentals, which means that it will be the fifth and sixth volumes of Iissiidiology. The fifth and the sixth volume will constitute the third part of the Iissiidiology fundamentals. The seventh and eighth volumes, Ifar songs, also known as song meditations. The ninth volume, glossary. 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and perhaps the 15th volumes. The Immortality is accessible to everyone series, while 16th through the 20th volumes is ideological interpretation of karma fundamentals. This is just for reference.